Okay, here we go. Part 6 of the playthrough. I expect we should be able to wrap it up today. And looking at my stats, I'm about 3 hours in. I guess that accounts for the extra 15-20 minutes of aimless wandering from last episode where I missed a turn and backtracked a little bit. But here we are. We're in Edith's room. And just kind of short recap. She just said that nothing remains left except for to tell what happened that last night. So Edith is supposedly going to kind of put a cap on this running story of her family's history now, culminating with the last night that they spent in the house when the mom decided it was time to leave. So let's jump in and take a look.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
the power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning, okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around. I started seeing things. things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it, but she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Okay, I'm just going to let credits roll for a second and give some thoughts in a moment. Okay, as this rolls, just give final few thoughts. Thought that final story might be a little bit longer, but I guess it kind of makes sense that Edith's story was a short one, given that the focus of Edith's return was to tell the stories of everyone else and how she got to where she was and what that might mean for her child, who obviously was unborn until the very end there. They don't make it clear what happened with Edith. They don't make it clear, did she die during childbirth? Did she die shortly after? Did that birth happen while she was in the home? I'd have to go back and look to see if there were any clues for that there. But it was an interesting kind of reflection. It was many years later that that child was coming back, because they were not obviously a baby or a toddler being carried to Edith's grave. So Edith was buried at the home, and the child was visiting. We don't know if that was the first time the child had been back, but the child definitely had the journal, so has a knowledge of the things that have happened within the family, and now has that to carry forward and consider what it means for their own life. But really a beautiful game. Again, a lot of really beautiful treatment of a variety of themes that are often kind of dark or scary to confront, and they confronted them with kind of just a straightforward confidence, and it was really cool to see. I picked this up because of the Steam Annapurna sale that was going on not too long ago. It's something I'd always been meaning to play through. I had somehow managed to dodge spoilers or explanations or anything about the game. I didn't even ever read a review on it. I just heard it mentioned a lot of times, and there's the end. I had always kind of had it in the back of my mind that I needed to come and experience the game, and I think experience. Oh, cool! You can replay individual stories. I think that's cool because I want to go back and see a few things, especially Edith's at the end there, see if there's any details I missed. But as I say, it is an experience. Yes, you play through it, but you're experiencing it as you go through, and it does things. It makes you feel, it makes you think. This is one of those games that after you hit quit game and you exit back out to your desktop, your brain keeps rolling with it, and that's the mark of a really well-told story. When you walk out of a movie theater, you're just a little quiet because your brain is processing and your emotions are bouncing around a little bit. This game's definitely done that to me as it goes, and it's just it's such a nice thing that we have these in the video game industry these days. Obviously, I grew up, my first consoles were the Atari 2600, and the Commodore 64 was my first PC, and then obviously the NES. But starting with that, I kind of got to see the birthplace of narrative on games like Adventure on the Atari. Obviously was light narrative, and then move forward to things like Zelda or Metroid that were told in obviously a much more simplistic way, but you compare what was going on then to what we get today with something like this, and it's come a long ways, and this stands up very well against something you might see in a movie or a novel. That level of storytelling is matched in this game, so it's great to see. I think I mentioned it in one of the earlier segments. I sat through the arguments of whether games are art or not, and this is a beautiful example of a game absolutely being art, and it's its own style of art. It's, yes, interactive art, it's narrative, it's visual, and that's what's kind of so cool about video games when they choose to be more than just a game and they choose to be art, is they marry so many different types of art into a single package, and this is definitely a shining example of that. So appreciate all those who checked out these segments and watched some or all of the playthrough pieces. I want to do more playthroughs in the future. I want to make my room a little bit more friendly to it. I know my mic doesn't sound the best in here, but it's been great kind of kicking things off with such a wonderful game like this. So kudos to the development team, the publisher, and you guys put out a wonderful product, and I am very happy that I decided to go through this. For those watching, look out for more from Gamer Theory. I guess I should say the name of the website and YouTube channel, right? Gamer Theory. And I'll see you soon.